I'm here again in West Java in the town of, well, it's in the area of Garut, but I'm actually in the Kampung area, in the village area. Catching up with my good friend Pak Yadi. Now, if you'd watched my previous episode, you will have seen the big adventure of me trying to find Pak Yadi. And it did take quite a while, but I finally found him. And so what we're going to do today is a continuation of that story, see where we go with it. Where am I going to stay tonight? They've actually invited me to stay the night, and that wasn't in the plan, but maybe that's what I'll do. I'm not sure yet. It's just really nice to meet the guy. So let's see what we get up to with Pak Yadi today, and so let's see where I end up tonight. Always in villages like this, there are lots of kids. And this village is no different. It's just filled with young kids. And I've been speaking to the locals here, and the way it works is that you get free education up until about middle school, and then you've got to decide, have I got enough money to send the kids to high school or not? And of course, well, university's way out there, probably not feasible for most people here. Most people here are getting free healthcare as well, which is really great with the new government scheme. This universal healthcare is normally a paid for system, but here, because most people don't have the means to pay for it themselves, the government actually does give it to them. But life is difficult here for the average person. Life is really difficult. You need those kids to get good jobs so they can support you in your old age. So this is genjer. It's like a water spinach almost. You see it all here. And Pak Yadi's wife is just removing all of it from this big bag, which he's collected all day. He's been out all day picking this. And kalau ibu, untuk segini berapa biasanya bisa dijual? Seribu? Enggak. 1.000 per ikat, jadi 100.000 bisa? Enggak sampai.
Ya sampai dikit.
Mungkin 40.000.
Iya.
So this might be 40,000 worth. So Pak Yadi's worked all day for 40,000, and his wife will then have to clean it all, and then and then sell it to someone local who will then sell it at the markets. So this thing here, I actually gave this to Pak Yadi over 10 years ago, a long time ago, and he's still got it. Here it is, beautiful.
Ini dari Kolihang.
Dari Kolihang. So he's actually got a lot of stuff in this house from different people that have given it to him over the years, which is really cool. He's saying that his house is ugly, but it's good. It's got a lot of character in it. It's really cool to see. So we're actually just having a bit of a bite to eat today. The food is basically rice and tofu that's sort of been cooked in some sort of sauce, or like a coconut sauce of some sort. It's quite nice. So in this village, there are apparently lots of swallows. And what they do with the swallows, they have these buildings that someone's built. It's all getting exciting around here. They build these buildings so the swallows can nest in there, and then somehow the swallows like spit in the nest, and then the people that own the swallow building get the nests out of there and then sell them to China. Like, it's pretty weird. I don't really understand it too much, but we're going to go and have a look, because apparently the swallow's coming back home now. It's about 5 o'clock in the evening, so we're going to have a look at that. But this is a beautiful, beautiful little village. Look at this. So they've got a little kebun over here. Ini tanaman apa yang ini?
Ketimun.
Ketimun. Okay, cucumber. Bonteng. Yeah, timun. Okay.
Bonteng.
Yeah. Kalau mau beli tanah sebesar ini, Pak? Kalau mau beli tanah sebesar ini, misalnya harganya berapa?
Murah sini, cuman
per are?
Bukan, kalau aroma itu 2.200.000.
Ya.
Makanya saya suruh kemarin bos.
Ya, 2.500.000.
500
ya.
Per tumbak.
Tumbak.
Ya,
satu tumbak berapa ukurannya
14
apa?
14 meter.
Untuk yang segede ini sekitar berapa?
Ya, jadi diukur ini ada berapa tumbak.
Ya.
Kalau ada 10 tumbak berarti ini 30 juta.
Ya. Sekitar itu ya. Oh, jauh lebih murah dari Bandung ya, Pak?
Bandung mahal.
Yeah. So what they're saying is that the way they measure things here is not in like ara, like they might in other parts of Indonesia. They measure it in their own specific measuring system, and that there would be worth about, 30 million. There's your building where all the swallows going. You can see them going in now. And apparently, there's the guy at the front there that you can see with that Sundanese headdress on. He guards this place, because what happens is that...
Ini sarang waletnya.
Yeah. You get people coming along who want to steal them. They are so valuable that people will come in the night and steal your product. There you go. Stuff growing everywhere. So easy to grow stuff around here. This is West Java.
Ayam orang prinsip.
This guy's filming, I'm filming. Mr. Adam.
Adam.
Ya.
Lagi datang ke Garut.
Ya, betul. Ya, tukang sate. Sate apa ya, Pak?
Sate ayam.
Ya, ayam ya, Pak. Yeah. Yeah. So this is the Kampung. Love it. Love it. This is real life actually here. In most of Indonesia, it's pretty much like this. It's very similar everywhere. Oh, goose. So they're saying that from this building, if you harvest the nests, you can get up. Well, that guy's trying to do something with that switch. It must be dangerous because he's using a stick. If you sell the nest, you can get about 50 million, 40 million per kilo for them. That's why they're so valuable, and that's why you might get robbed. So I think he just turned the lights on. So one of his jobs is to turn the lights on. There's actually one here, right there, which has sort of been made on the outside of the building, which is a little bit strange. So the story is to get the actual swallows to go in here, apparently what you've got to do, you've got to get an egg and have it hatch inside this building first. And the reason you do that is because apparently these birds will always come back and lay eggs in the place that they were born. So yeah, that's how you sort of start it. It takes a while to get it going. Once you get it going, this is big business. The people that normally own it, not always, but normally, apparently, are people they call Cirebon. So basically an Indonesian of Chinese descent that lives in Cirebon, a town in Central and West Java, on the border there. And then they have connections with people in the real China where they can export all of this. So it's big business, really big business. So this is a beautiful, beautiful part of the world. You can see over there, itu Galunggung yang gunung di belakangnya. So there's a cloud over there which is covering Gunung Galunggung, which is the one that erupted in 1982. And then you can see, look at these rice fields here, which are just beautiful. The kids are out playing at the moment. The air is quite cool. There's a strong breeze blowing, and it's not quite cold enough to have long sleeves on, but it's not warm at all. You wouldn't sweat even a bit walking through here. And look at that. Isn't that just beautiful? Beautiful, beautiful place. There are so many places like this across Indonesia which are rarely visited, and it's just beautiful. Oh, there's a guy walking with his dog over there. Yeah.
Salim lagi, salim.
Yeah, that's a traditional way of greeting someone here that you respect in the Sundanese culture. Hello. Yeah, lots of kids around here. That's a little warung. Hello. Yeah, hello. Yeah, little warungs everywhere where you can buy little bits and pieces, little sachets for washing your hair or whatever, or a little coffee. Photo time again. Everyone wants to get a photo with the white guy. It's a bit weird, but it's normal here in Indonesia.
Ayam mancung menurutnya. Kalau ngidam itu kalau orang hamil pengennya maunya apa harus dituruti. Dia pengen pegang ini.
Okay, so there's a thing in Indonesia where people say hidung mancung. It's basically white people with a big nose like mine. It's actually what people want for their kids. So one of the things that this lady wants, she's pregnant and she wants her child to have a big nose, so she wants to touch my nose so that her child can have a big nose as well. Oh yeah, ayo.
Maaf ya.
Ya, oh ya, so ambil juga ya. Ya, mudah-mudahan punya anak yang punya hidung mancung.
Can I take care?
Ya, selfie dulu. Oke. Oh, pakai yang kamu ya. So what the government's done here is they've built a well underground, and what you can do, you can connect to this, and as you can see some of the pipes coming out of here, you can connect to this and get water to your house. Yeah, you can even see the government sign there. Yeah, the Pemerintah Kabupaten Garut. So Kabupaten is the regency of Garut, of quite a large area. They've built that so that locals can get water into their house, which they never had before. Otherwise, you're going to have to go down to the river, or you might have a well in your own house that you've dug by hand, and then you're using like a bucket, like, you know, Jack and Jill type thing, where you're pulling with a chain the water out of the ground. But these days, they've got a communal system there, and if you've got a little bit more money, you'll have a pump in your own house, which is nice as well. That's quite sad to see some of the graves around here as I walk through here. That tree there is called a charingin. And the interesting thing about charingin is it's the name of a tree, but it's also the name of the place where I used to live in Bandung as well, or very close to where I used to live. It's a place called Charingin. And I've only just learned that Charingin is actually the name of a tree. There's lots of words in this part of the world that unless you are speaking the Sundanese language all the time, you're not really going to know what it means. And most place names in West Java do have some meaning behind them. So I've just been invited to a friend's house or a family member's house of Pak Yadi. They've asked me to sit down on this seat, but I know that seat because that used to be my seat. Because I actually gave those to Pak Yadi like 10 years ago and they're still here. He's asked me to come inside. Hang on a second, he's saying meja. Let's have a look what he's talking about. He's got me inside someone's house. Now that is my old table. Oh my God. And the old chair. Wow, masih ada ya Pak? Yeah. Wow, yeah. Oh, kuat. Itu seperti kayu jati mungkin ya. Yeah, kuat sekali. Wow. So a lot of the old stuff that I gave Pak Yadi still exists here. It's valuable. I've given Pak Yadi a lot of stuff over the years, and the thing is, it's useful. So even if it's not useful for me anymore, this stuff can be used once again by people who need it. And I love that part about recycling stuff. People want to use it. I love it. So I'm at some other person's house now. There's a lot of different people that want to meet up, and there's these little tools that people smoke with. They stick their cigarettes into the end of these, and then they use them for smoking rather than smoking the cigarette straight. And mainly they do that because they are smoking unfiltered cigarettes, and they use this as some sort of, I don't know, it's not really a filter, but just something that's just nice. It's not a pipe that you use this tobacco in. There's some other method. There you go. Look, that's what it looks like. This guy's got a really nicely carved one. It's just like one of those, I think back in the 70s they used to use those holder things for cigarettes as well. By the way, a lot of people smoke here in the Kampung. It's just normal. It's getting pretty late now here in Pak Yadi's house. I'm staying the night, and every now and then the lights go off, the electricity goes out, and it's because the capacity of the electricity in this house, they're only supplied with 450 watts at any given time. And that's the lowest amount that you can be given in Indonesia. My house in Bali has 7,700. There's only 450 here. That means if you have too many devices on at once or too many lights on, they've got the TV on and they've got a few lights on, it'll go off. And for example, she has an iron here that she'll use, but she's got to turn all the lights off and everything else off just to use the low powered iron that she's got. So that's sort of pretty normal here in the village. And the reason they have that 450 watt system is that people who are only on the 450 watt system, they don't pay as much for electricity as other people. So when they prepay their electricity, you sort of buy credits. The credits that they buy are much cheaper than someone who's getting 7,700 like me. And I think the next one up is 900 watts. Then it goes to something like 1,300 watts, then 2,200. It sort of goes up in steps like that. And going back a long time ago, each time you went up another step, you'd pay more for your electricity credits. Now it's a little bit different, but still, if you're on 450 watts only, you pay hardly anything for your electricity. But the negative is that if you put too many things on, bang, the lights go off, which happens all the time here. It's interesting. It's actually happened at a few different people's houses I've been at so far while I've been here. Well, it's the next morning. It's a bit of a rainy one this morning, but it's early in the morning. I've just woken up. This is where I slept last night. This is what it's like. In the village, it was actually okay. I mean, when you're in the village, you are in close quarters with a lot of other people around here. The other houses are close. The animals are close, so if there's any movement around there, like if someone wakes up early, or if an animal wakes up early, you're waking up as well. That's what it sort of was last night. Today, I hope, even though it's raining, to be able to go around to a few places. Pak Yadi's going to take me around to a few places and show me around. There's one in particular that I know about, and hopefully we can get to that and I'll show you some really cool stuff. So I'm with Pak Yadi now. He's taking me around, showing me a few places. I'm now at a place called Candi Cangkuang. And you can't understand Balinese Hinduism without first understanding this place, because this place is where one of the earlier places in Indonesia that Hinduism sort of existed. And we're in West Java now. It's one of the only existing temples now, Hindu temples now in West Java as well. It was built in the 8th century, and there's like a beautiful, beautiful setting here in the rice fields. And it's actually not that popular a tourist attraction, although it should be, because it's actually part of the journey of how Hinduism sort of entered Indonesia and then spread across the islands and finally ended up in Bali. Now the thing is with Balinese Hinduism, it really only became its modern form of Balinese Hinduism in about the 14 or 1500s. At one end of Candi Cangkuang is a thing called Kampung, which is an old traditional kampung from the 1700s as well. Lots of old buildings, beautiful traditional buildings, really well maintained as well. Pak Yadi mau kayak gini juga, tradisional. So Candi Cangkuang is sort of like a reminder of what the centre of Indonesian Hinduism was prior to it being in Bali. So this is Candi Cangkuang. What's really interesting about it is it has a very similar style to many of the Hindu temples that you might see around Indonesia, like in Prambanan in Yogyakarta, or some of the ones that you see in Bali even to this day. There's a lot of aspects of this that are very, very familiar. Isn't it just beautiful? From the 8th century. And it overlooks a huge lake over here. So it's perched on top of a hill. Then it overlooks this huge lake over here, which is just glorious. That is a place where you can come across on a raft if you want. So you can choose to pay to come across on the raft, or if you go around the back entrance, you can avoid the rafts and just pay a ticket, like a small entrance fee, which is quite reasonable. I think for me it's like 15,000. It's actually quite beautiful. Just standing here, you really get that sense of connection between Java, West Java in particular, and Bali. That thread going through the entire nation over the centuries. This is it. Interesting thing is that this place wasn't really discovered or exposed until the 1960s. And it was at that stage they gathered all the old stones and so forth and put together what you've got now. With obviously some new sections as well, because it's been restored, but the building itself has the original stones in parts of it and some renovated stuff. It's pretty much the same if you go across lots of Java. You'll see that a lot of temples that were just a pile of stones are reassembled. You can sort of tell by the shape of them where they go, and then if there was any missing or whatever, they will then reconstruct it based on what it used to look like. This is it. Pak Yadi having a look inside there. For me, this is very similar to the Candi that you see around Malang. Malang in East Java has a lot of these ones as well, quite similar in style. Central Java, I've seen quite a few of them up in the hills. They're in some really amazing spots overlooking, well, on the edge of mountains and overlooking valleys and that sort of thing. This is another great little spot. They seem to pick the really beautiful spots, and just looking at this place, amazing, amazing. I was just asking Pak Yadi about the foundations of those houses back there, those old houses. They're using stones. And I said, oh, all right, where did they get those from? He said, oh, they probably scavenged around the area back in the day for stones that look the right size. And they might have actually been from one of the temples back in the day, which makes sense, doesn't it? It looks like today we've been beaten by the rain. I've only been able to go to one of those places that I wanted to go. But there are quite a few small little attractions here around the Garut area, but it's more about that traditional feel. There's a city of Garut, which I think I'm going to try and stay in tonight. And then I'm going to move on further south through West Java. Over the past, I don't know, 10, 12, 15 years or whatever it is, I've actually given Pak Yadi a lot of stuff. Like I've given him sort of bags of cloth, which he's been able to give to his wife, who's made clothes out of it. And I've given him old clothes and furniture and all this sort of stuff. And I was just wondering, it sounds a bit weird, but if you want to send stuff to him, if you've got stuff you want to send to him, please do so. I'll put his address in the description below, and just send him stuff if you want. I asked him, and he said, like, he'll take all of that stuff. If he can't use it personally, there are other people in this village that use it. I mean, it's not like really like a charity thing. Like it's not really like that. It's just like if you want to give this guy some stuff, he'll take it. You know, it's that sort of thing. But I've actually really loved catching up with Pak Yadi on this trip so far, and it's just been great that I've been able to find the guy after all these years. Just wonderful. Hey, thanks for coming along for the ride today, and thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with all things Sanua, the rest of Indonesia, and a bit of West Java. I'll catch you next time, and sampai jumpa.